Hi Goya, welcome to NEXWEB podcast.
Hello, Shristi. Thank you for having me.
Goya, can you share your background? Why did you choose cognitive therapy profession in country Georgia?
First of all, I want to tell you that when I did research about the CBT therapy, I found that it is very helpful with the disorders like anxiety, depression, phobias, and many others. And the technique which we use in CBT therapy, it is very interesting and it is really helpful for many people. So that's why my interest went on that way, and I chose to learn CBT therapy and found out how it works. So yeah, that's it.
How long you have been working as a cognitive behavior therapist?
Almost 2 years now. I studied psychology. Then I started to get license in psychotherapy. And in this journey, I found out also about the CBT therapy. And this is how I went and I studied it and got degree.
Goya, like how does the cognitive behavior therapy work for those people who are having a problem in their mental hygiene and emotional stability?
So, CBT therapy as a cognitive behavioral therapy is, to explain it very easy way, is that our thoughts controls our emotions and our emotions cause our behavior. So with this cognitive behavioral therapy, we try to change our thoughts so we can change our emotions and then our behaviors. And it's a everyday work on ourselves. We all people have beliefs about the world, about self, about other people. So these beliefs, how the world should be, how we should be, or how others should be, sometimes affect on our thoughts, and these thoughts cause negative emotions inside us, so and it dictates on our behavior afterwards. So this is how we try. We have journals with every client, and we track all those thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and then with the therapy we try to change all those patterns which we already have, and all those beliefs from past experience. And yes, it is really helpful when we kind of deal with anxiety, depression, phobias. Yeah, the study showed that it is one of the greatest type of therapy to use this way.
When a person wants to have a cognitive behavior therapy, like what should they expect? Like, is it exercise or breath work, or it's a healing by talking or sharing our feelings? Like, what sort of therapy is it?
Cognitive behavioral therapy is talking therapy with your therapist, and every person who wants to go on this therapy. First of all, I want to mention that it doesn't matter which therapy we use. First, we need to go to doctor, psychiatrist, to find out about our to find out diagnosis, what we have, what we are struggling for, and then we can plan our therapy seasons. There is a type of therapist different, and you can choose by yourself which is the closest to you. So, and good psychologists will always recommend the exact therapy which will be helpful in your case.
Okay, like if a problem of a person is of mental health, then they have to go to doctor or psychiatric, and they recommend the therapy. Like, what sort of therapy is needed for them? Okay.
Yes, first of all, if a person feels that they got some mental health issues, they first, I always recommend to my clients to go and see doctor. Psychiatrist is a doctor. They diagnose people with different disorders, and they, if there is a need, they also prescribe the medication to it. So, and afterwards comes our therapist's work, when after the client saw the doctor and they already know what's their problem. I would not call it problem, but like diagnose. And then also for us, it is very helpful to know what we are dealing with, so how we should go with therapy and what's the strategy about therapy, because different diagnosis needs different type of therapy, and it is very helpful from the first time to go to psychiatrist and then to therapist.
Goya, I'm so interested to know about the differences between the psychiatric, psychologist, and a therapist. Like, what's the difference between all these three?
Psychiatrist is a doctor, as I mentioned already. So psychiatrists are people, doctors who diagnose people, and also they prescribe the medication, so they are responsible on their healing journey. Psychologist is a person who studies about people's mind, thoughts, emotions, and all this stuff. But to have a sessions with the clients, you need to get license as a therapist, as a psychotherapist. So, a psychotherapist is the person who leads the therapy sessions, and they choose the ways to help the clients in correct way. They learned how to do it, how to handle it. So yeah, this is the major difference between those three different names or topics. Yes.
If a person have mental health and emotional stability issue, and they have a sleeping disorder and anxiety stress, like, who is responsible for giving medication to them, like a psychiatric or therapist? Like, I'm so confused on these topics. Yeah.
When we talk about medications, of course, it's doctor's responsibility, right? So psychiatrist is responsible on it, because sometimes the medications can be not only for mental health, but they should make good diagnosis. Maybe person has different types of like physical issues, so they need to fix it, and afterwards they can prescribe the medications toward the mental health, like any diagnosis. So it's a psychiatrist's responsibility. Psychotherapists will not prescribe any medications. It's not their responsibilities.
Like, how can an individual or family members or society members know that a person has a negative thoughts, heavy emotions, and needs to go to the therapist?
First of all, what I would say is that a person needs to go by themselves. It should be their choice. I always say that sometimes our friends, relatives, they want us to go to therapy or see doctor or whatever, but mostly it's effective when you take this decision and you say, yes, I need help and I'm prepared to go to doctor and take a therapy session or whatever. It's realization from inside that you can't control what is happening to you, and you lost this power, so now you need another person to interact with and to help you. So mostly I would say it's a self responsibility, and also like decision. The mostly we should take decision by ourselves, that yes, we are ready to have decisions and to take the help from another person.
Like, I have seen some people who have heavy emotions because they can't control their emotions, their feelings, and they are showing the tantrums, and the family members notices the tantrums and the behaviors of that person, but that person is not willing to want to go to the therapist. Like, how can a society members or family members push him to go to the therapist? Because I think going to the therapist is the best method to heal himself.
Whenever you around you found out that someone is struggling with something, it's very helpful to be with them and to for them to feel your support, that you are there, and no matter what, you will always be there. This feeling toward anyone, when you show them that you support them anyways and you are next to them and you will be there if they need any help or talk or emotional support, you will be there. This is what I would say is the main thing for people around the person who struggles with mental health issues, is that not try to talk with them like, oh, you need to change, or you need to go to therapy, or you need to see doctor. No, just from your side, show them that you support them, and anytime if they want to talk, if they want any type of interaction with you, you are there. First, I would say it is a main thing to keep up with, and afterwards, of course, you will kind of see, and you can also kind of recommend that, for example, like talk with them, and maybe they will share some experience with you. And if they are willing to share this experience, and if they will talk about how they struggle or how they found out the hard ways to get out of this situation, then you can kind of recommend that I'll be with you. We can go to therapist, we can go to doctor, but it should not be the way that you force someone to do it, because forcing someone, especially when they struggle with different mental health issues, it's not working. It's not working. The main thing is to support them, be with them, and emotionally, physically be around them. This is the main thing, what I would say.
Goya, while dealing with the clients till now, like what are the common core beliefs that people have and that's affecting their own mental health?
First of all, what I want to say is that many mental health issues are coming from our traumas and our past experiences. And because our brain started to learn patterns from those traumas and past experiences, most commonly we all have patterns with our brain, and every time we are in a situation, all those patterns are coming out, and sometimes we have fears, we have this anxiety, we have all those stuff. The main thing when we work with mental health is to break those patterns with brain and heal the traumas which is coming from early childhood till nowadays.
Goya, while dealing with the clients till now, what are the common core beliefs that you have found that people have and that's affecting their own mental health?
We as a humans, we all have our beliefs about world, about ourselves, about others, how they should be, how they should act. So those beliefs sometimes cause our negative thoughts, our negative emotions, so our behaviors. People, I want to say, they struggle differently. I would not connect them, but what I would say is the main thing dealing with any type of mental health issue is to break old patterns with our brain. What I would say is that I want everyone to know that the thoughts which are coming to our brain, it's not always correct. It's not always true. Sometimes our brain gives us thoughts which is from past experience, past trauma, and all those patterns is saved there. So sometimes those thoughts and those thoughts are not logical, are not true. So it I would say that the main thing to deal with any mental health issues is to break those patterns with your brain. So whenever your brain says something which is negative, to not act as your brain said, to understand that all those thoughts and all those patterns which are coming is not always true. So do not react on them. This is like very easy way to explain how we should deal with any type of trauma. For example, when people have anxiety, right? What's the anxiety? Let's say, in a nutshell, anxiety is your thoughts about any event in the future. When you make this event, you kind of have the worst ending to this event. So you anxiously think about something in the future, and you always think that it will end badly, right? So catastrophizing the event is anxiety in the future. So what is the main and great thing to deal with it is that to understand that it's not true. It's always like 50-50. We do not know what can happen in the future, so we do not have any control over it. So understanding that anxiously thinking about something in a very, very bad way, now we will lose our day, we will lose our minute, and we will lose the fact that what we know we have now, right? This moment. We do not know if we will have this future, and whatever was in past, our past, we do not, it doesn't exist anymore. So we need to understand to be now in this moment and kind of make it the nice place to live this moment. So if I will distract myself today, now, this moment, which I know that I really have because I feel I'm alive, with the thought that comes to my brain, which is my pattern, what can happen in future, it will distract my day, it will ruin my day, I will get anxious, and I will just lose all the good things what can happen now, because I will be anxious towards something in the future. And what I want to explain this, for example, many people have different type of fears, because brain once found out that you fear about something and it is there, the brain remembers it. So anytime you will be in the same situation, brain as an alert will give you, do you remember what happened before? Now it can happen again. So, and brain is our friend, let's say that, and it wants to keep us safe. And whenever we react to brain and say, yes, you are right, before it happened this way, so now it can happen. So, okay, I will not interact. I will stay in my bed. I will not do anything. Brain knows that you reacted on it. So many times after, it will give us same patterns. So what I want to say is that sometimes to understand that your brain also doesn't know language, it knows your behavior. So whatever you want to change in your thoughts, you need to show your brain with the behavior. And whenever your brain comes out with a thought that, for example, if I go out today, I can hit by bus and die, and you feel anxious about that and you worry about that every time. The main thing how we deal with it is to not listen, not react on this pattern. And anyways, sometimes we should feel uncomfortable to get comfortable. So instead of staying in bed and do nothing because your brain gave you some like thought about event that can happen in future and we do not even know it will happen or not, instead of staying in bed and feeling anxious and worry about that, the main thing is to go out and walk in the streets. And yeah, it might be painful, it might be uncomfortable, but with this behavior we will teach our brain for next time when I want to go out, it will not give us same pattern and it will not say that something bad can happen outside. So now I taught him that whatever it will give me, I will not react and I will still do it. So this is very nice technique somehow, which is uncomfortable, I understand, for many people, because when you fear something, fear cause like your body reaction, your emotion, and everything. And I understand it might be uncomfortable, but the main thing is to teach our brain with our behavior that whatever it says, it's not always true, and we will not always listen to it.
Goya, offline we talked about trauma, fear, anxiety, stress, and attachment problem. Like what sort of attachment problem people have that's leading to mental hygiene problem. Like, can you please elaborate on this attachment issue?
Yes, sure. Attachment styles are different. Um, there is four main attachment styles. There is an secure attachment style. There is anxious attachment style. There is a dismissive avoidant, and there is a fearful avoidant. Many people struggle with anxious attachment styles. And sometimes they connect with avoidance. So two different type of attachments, they somehow connect with each other. And why it happens? So, and if you are secure attached, so if someone pulled away and showed you less interest, if you are secure, you are saying, that's fine, I'm gonna move on. And you will be handle this situation easily and you will move on. So you will not be triggered by them just pulling away. If you are an anxiously attached person, right? If someone is triggering your wounds of abandonment, and you are feeling high arousal because of that. You are feeling very strong emotion because you are triggered and wounded. And it's like as an excitement, as a thrill is a high arousal feeling. So to explain it very easy way is that I like other person because they make me feel high aroused. And it can be sometimes hurt. If I am anxiously attached, right? And if someone pulled away and they triggered my wound and wound of abandonment, uh, that's when I feel the very strong emotion. So that's why I'm attached to that person. And sometimes anxiously attached person kinda sacrifice their own self to be involved in this situation and to seek the others' love and effort toward them, so they will sacrifice themselves. Yes, this is how it goes with anxious attachment style. Many people are triggered and they are confused. from other person being triggered with being in love. And this is
Wow.
why sometimes anxiously attached person will connect with avoidant, because the emotion is very strong.
Like Goya, like our world is so much advanced in terms of technology, where people can socialize, they can get ideas, they can seek help, they can raise voice, but also they feel lonely and have anxiety, stress problem, and sleeping disorders and many other problems because of the loneliness. Like, why is it? Why can't people control their own emotions and feelings?
I would say that people have mostly control over their thoughts and over their emotions. But if some triggers happen for a long period of time, and we are kind of deal with it for a long period of time, there comes a time when we just want to give up, and somehow we do not want to fight anymore. And people who struggle, for example, with depression, is that it doesn't came from one event or in a one day. It was processing through a long period of time, and in the end, what we got is that our diagnosis is depression. So, very important is that when you start feeling that you somehow lose control over your emotions, thoughts, or over your body, it is very important to make notice and to somehow understand that something is happening, and I kind of lose control dealing with it. So this is when we choose to go and see professional, right? So when we have, just to explain, when we have a headache every day for 3 months, from the beginning we take a painkillers and we somehow deal with it, right? But when it continues for so long, we just think that maybe we need to check our to go to see doctor, maybe to check our health, what is happening, because I lose control over it and I can't deal with it. And this is, it's the same principle with the mental health, right? When we kind of see that there is something going on for so long and we lose our control over it, it is very important to speak with. If you do not have access to doctor or to therapist, it is very important to share this with a trustful person next to you. It can be your parent, your sibling, your friend, no matter. Just to talk about it, it is okay. First, we need to understand it is fine to sometimes feel sad. It is okay to sometimes feel anxious, but what I want to say is that we always need to make to say this to other person also. So when it comes a time sometimes that we are just we lost our control, there will be always someone who knows what was happening, so they can provide exact help you need.
Goya, as a therapist, do you have any tips for those people who wants to improve their mental health on a daily basis?
For every person out there listening to us, and they just live their lives, they do whatever they do, our mental health needs protection, I would say. It should not be any disorder or any issue, but because we are determined from our outside world, and we live in society, and we every day interact with people, we have different situations, we need to focus on ourselves. And what I mean, I will explain. As an adult, every day you meet and you are in different situations. Some situations, some people can trigger you, some people can cause in you different emotions, which can be negative, and also which can be like very like happy and excited, and all these things. It is very important that to keep our mental health in a good shape, right? It is very important to know who we are, to respect ourselves and love ourselves. So whenever someone or any situation will cause in us any negative thoughts or emotions, we can respectfully avoid it and like try another things, because the unhealthy environment for long period of time will cause in us many mental health issues. So first I would say is to practice and to improve our self-respect and self-love. This is the main thing I would recommend. And there is a different type of things you can try to improve these things. If you already feel that you love yourself, you respect yourself, with everyday work on yourself, what you do for yourself, what is your activities for yourself, it will improve. But if you feel that you kind of have problems loving yourself, you can practice. There is type of practices you can do to improve it and start loving yourself again. The second, the main thing I would recommend to anyone is that to have a boundaries. And what I mean is that yes, we can be empathic to other people and other people's feelings, but we should know our boundaries, because empathy without boundary is a self-destruction. We can understand others' feelings, but it can't affect on us. This is my boundaries. So I will help you, but your feelings will not be mine also. So if you feel sad, I will not feel sad. I will be there for you, but it doesn't mean that I will feel the same feeling as you feel. Okay, and it can. The boundaries are very important in any situation. So there is a metaphor we can say. So if the rock is hot, the lizard is hot also sitting on it. If the rock is cold, the lizard is cold sitting on it, because lizard doesn't have internal temperature, so it takes the rock's temperature. And we should not be like those lizards. So if someone feels anxious, sad, angry, or all these negative emotions, we do not need to take it on ourselves. We need to know that I love you, I will be there for you, but it doesn't mean that I will feel same things, because it will be our self-destruction if we will go through this with them. And we will change our emotions as it is theirs. So, and a third one, there is a many tips, but the third one I always talk about with my clients. It's about to practice gratitude. And I want to say something. Mostly, sometimes our bad feelings and bad emotions, right, are caused because we lack something in our life. We lack attention, we lack love, we lack some stuff. And with gratitude, what I want to say, what we can practice is that, for example, right, I lost one friend and I have this feeling that why it happened, right? I lost my friend, I loved him or whatever. But with gratitude, we can say that, yes, I lost one, but I'm thankful for any other person who is in my life right now. So I'm more focusing on nowadays on this moment, and I'm grateful for every other person or every other situation I have than the one I lost. So I do not focus on the loss, I focus on what I have. And practicing gratitude is very important for our mental health. It is proven that it is very helpful. Every day that we wake up and our brain works, we have two hands, two legs, we can do something. We have a people around us, we have ourselves first, because someone can may not have anyone around them, and that's fine. Another day you can live, and this gratitude will improve in you feeling of these days, so many other things will lose its power, so you will more be focused on good things than on the bad things that happened in the past. That's what I wanted to share. It's very easy to practice. Just we need to always remember. And we can make notes, we can practice this with journaling, we can kind of start just to writing down every day the 10 things we are grateful for and make it our main feeling that we are grateful. We have a gratitude toward universe that yes, the some bad things happened, we lost some people or there was some situation and it's not anymore, but we have some stuff to be grateful for. So it will be very, very helpful, I believe.
Goya, like it was great talking with you. I learned a lot about cognitive behavior therapy and mental health tips. I learned a lot. Thank you so much for your time, Goya.
Thank you, Shristi, for having me. It was my pleasure to talk with you, and I hope it will help at least one person who will listen to us. Thank you, and I hope we will interact again in the future.